Hello, everyone. My name is Ian, and this is the Retrospect podcast. I'm joined by the wonderful co-host of this podcast, X-Man.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you, meet you.
Yeah. Hear about you.
Hear you. Yeah. Know that you're hearing us,
right.
Whatever you say.
And then we have Stoney over here as well.
Very nice to meet y'all also.
We had a little discussion beforehand about what this is about, but I think it all kind of started, it originally started with both Stoney and X-Men over here. And I'll let them go ahead and take it away and just talk about how this whole thing came to be as an idea.
You know, we were doing something very churchy.
Right.
But we realized real fast that we all kind of had our feet on the ground in the same place, kind of a no BS kind of a place. Felt like we could ask hard questions and all of that, and then realized that maybe, you know, a wider audience that could also relate to that.
Right.
Could we be informative and
real,
help people from just a generational difference?
Right.
We have 3 generations here
Yeah.
that span quite a few years, actually.
Yeah.
You know, we got the millennial generation.
Right, and all with its different perspectives on life and everything.
Ian's our resident millennial.
We got the Gen X and we got, the boomer.
Right.
So.
That's right. I just want to say, first of all, what I'm excited about is that my generation, the X generation, Gen X, we represent the greatest music decades of all time. The 80s and 90s music was so incredible.
Right.
And, I'm thinking Flock of Seagulls, and I'm thinking Prince, and I'm thinking, Sting, all these incredible artists, the B-52s.
Well,
like you have nothing compared to that.
That music came from a great void. They shot and killed
disco. Called the boomer generation.
No. Disco was shot and killed one day in, I think, 1981.
Uh-oh.
And, at that point in time, disco was the most popular. It talked about everything. They actually dealt with a lot of issues.
Hey, disco is how I came into being.
Right.
My parents were, discoing John Travolta style, and then went and did the naughty, and then I came about.
We don't need to know all that.
Well, with that big void, people had to replace it with something, and we got we did get some really good music out of that.
I still think I know people don't like it, and people meme about it and have a lot of fun with it, but man, the early 2000s was when I was in like my teenage prime years and all those different genres of bad rock, or dad rock, what do you want to call it? I love it. It's my favorite.
I will say, we'll credit you with Justin Timberlake.
Right.
I'll give you that.
Even though I wasn't really a big fan of all those guys, I mean, hey, it was a fun time.
Talent is still talent.
Of course.
Yeah, whether you're a fan or not. I
may not like certain generation, like certain genres, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But man, there's some talent nonetheless.
I was excited to see that they put some Technicolor to some of your greatest.
Wow,
man, we haven't even started on episode 1 yet. He is throwing fire.
I'm telling you, you're just mean.
When they colored the Wizard of Oz, I was just like, oh, this is great.
Oh my gosh, look at this. It's a whole new world here. Oh man, but yes. So the big. Whenever I got introduced into this, because I had all the fancy toys that can make us record and make this thing happen, I think I kind of sprinkle in the idea of having us come with a question or a topic of some kind, and then just posing it at the top of the episode so that we all have a chance to kind of talk about it, and then of course banter and joke and bullshit around for at least an hour or so.
Right. Like a typical millennial, he won't tell us anything.
Right.
No, okay, well, again, it's going to be really cool when you guys hear the first episode coming up. That I saved the topics that way again because I didn't want you guys to think too much on
it.
Right. I want it to be more. I don't know. It's a cool topic, I think, and it's really fun. It's
show how
awesome.
smarter we are than the millennial generation.
Exactly. Well, and I can't wait to hear it because I have to tell you, I got a lot of issues with both of your generations.
Oh, no.
So I can't, I'm kind of sandwiched in between the two of you.
Well, I'm not. I mean, and again, like the description of the podcast says, we may talk about some heavier topics. We may talk about some lighthearted stuff too. So it's like it can be something as something very trivial. And again, I'm not saying mine's trivial, but I do think that mine is not so heavy though. I don't want to keep tiptoeing around my topic.
It's just like feeding us a spoonful at a time, right? We never quite lick the spoon, but
right. I have to have some kind of control, please.
Yeah,
you control the buttons.
Yeah, I was going to say
you've already threatened us with that. I'll just turn you off.
You can mute either one of us at any
Be
time.
mean to me, and I'll turn you off.
It's true. He does have power.
He does.
I mean, it's very fleeting though. So don't
Get
worry.
used to it though, because the millennials are on the rise.
That's
They're going to be our
man.
bosses soon. So
Gosh, I also, again, speaking of like from our generation and looking forward as well, it's like, man, I'm like looking on the horizon at 30, and I know I'm still young and I still have my whole life ahead of me, but man, I'm like, man, this future generation's kind of scaring me a little bit.
Well, Ronald Reagan said it best, we are one generation away from losing all of our freedoms.
Right.
And the times today are proving that, actually.
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I'm scared for your generation too. Thank God I'll be dead before it happens.
Come on, give yourself a little bit of credit.
not me. We wrote Everybody Wants to Rule the
Yeah.
World.
Oh man, I didn't think about that. That's interesting. But yeah, so this is something that you guys are interested in and are even sort of excited about, or think it's a cool idea or a cool premise. We're definitely looking for suggestions for things to talk about or topics of some kind.
And challenge us.
Of course.
If we say something that you don't like, let us know. I believe there's a spot on there to email us.
Yeah.
If you have an idea or you want to challenge that, let's talk about it, because that's how ideas happen. That's how people understand different variations of life. That's what brought this about, was the three generations. When we were talking about, the Bible and churchy kind of stuff, we found out how interesting it is to see one Bible verse or one story from three different generations.
Right.
Not me. I'll dismiss you like a scolded dog.
Wow.
I'll be like, who cares what you think?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm really excited, Ian. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to hear all the crap that comes out of Stoney's mouth.
That's right.
Right. I mean, hey, I think we're all gonna talk some shit every now and then.
He's like that guy. Do you ever watch the kung fu movies where he holds out his head to snatch the pebble from?
I was gonna say, where's this going?
Yeah.
I was too. I'm going, hey, wait a minute. Hey.
Right,
the fount of all wisdom.
Right.
So I can't wait. To hear this and get people to write it and chime in and challenge.
Right.
But I agree, Stoney. I think it's really fun to have people who have different opinions or things that you don't think of, perspectives.
Right.
And I think we'd be a great group to field some of that through. Yeah.
Well, when you're going through life and you think about just the different aspects that we have, I'm learning how to be a parent.
Yeah.
I'm 57 years old, and now all of a sudden I've been thrust into parenthood, with an 11-year-old stepson. I don't even say stepson anymore, but my son.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of a sudden I have a new perspective in life.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And so I think this can be educational. I think we can help people. I think we can have a lot of fun and bring some just interesting views to subjects that are relevant today.
Yeah. Speaking of kids, when are you going to start procreating?
Please, you selling my mother?
Come on.
Well, the millennials seem like they're waiting until about 35.
They only have like
kids.
0.75 of a kid now.
Oh my gosh,
It's just because we were so sexier. We have babies because we look good. Right?
Well, you have to think about it also. They're bringing back the tight jeans.
Oh, that's true.
So when you look at that, this whole revolution back into the tight jeans is going to screw up the thrift stores for the next 20 years.
Maybe you are. You're right.
Y'all need to do something revolutionary like Stoney's generation did and make some Old Spice or something.
Of course.
Something that
I'll be thinking of something. Don't worry.
Actually, Old Spice was actually before me.
But then see, my generation, we brought sexy back.
Right.
Right.
Wait, wasn't that
what that was?
I
thought you had gas. I'm sorry.
Oh man, but yeah. Also with this as well is we were looking for it to be, even though it debuts on Monday mornings at 6 a.m. every time as a start to your week. You can listen to it whenever, wherever you want, and just know that we're probably most times going to be sitting back and relaxing. Every now and then, maybe having a drink or something, and just shooting.
Can we smoke cigars in here? That's
I need to figure out about that.
Oh man,
my trip is fire alarm or something.
Right. I got to open the window.
See, the
nice.
millennials don't know how to enjoy the real good things in life.
Hey, come on now. Wait a minute.
Bitch and moan about everything.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly.
I'm sorry that I have a
I'm offended.
I have a landlord.
Right. Yeah. Your smoking offends me still.
Right. No, it doesn't offend me. I don't want to. I don't want to get shit from my landlord. See, I'm just trying to save myself.
He's trying to get his deposit back.
Yes, exactly.
Always has an excuse or a reason.
No, that's kind of true of all people your age. And I mean, we all wanted our deposit back when we.
I mean, of course. And it's also again we don't got to get into all this right now too. But it's like, man, I feel like life is so expensive now. It's like, man.
No, I kind of want to get into it.
Really?
Actually.
Yeah.
It really is expensive.
It is. It is so expensive now. And I was like, I remember even just back when I graduated high school, which, I mean, I know you're going to laugh at me, but again, it was back in 2012. So it's like, that feels like so long now. And it's like, man, I remember getting my first job and like having disposable income that I can do whatever I wanted to with, even though I was in like a small apartment or something.
Yeah.
My fiance got a little validation a couple of weeks ago. Her daughter has moved out. And she gets this phone call one day. I can't believe you didn't tell me how expensive fucking food was.
It is.
And it's like, and then she was like, well, where did you go? Well, I went to Target. Well, you went to the most expensive place you could buy food other than Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Right.
And, it was just funny. I spent $260 and I didn't have anything to show for it.
Hey, man, let me tell you, you think food's bad. I've got 2 kids also, the same age as Stoney's kids. He's kind of a late bloomer. A late boomer.
Oh, my God.
Late to the party there, boomer. So anyway, but wait till these kids start asking for their toys, because when I was growing up, it was like if it was a big deal for you to get a bike.
Right.
Like that was
dirt.
a big gift. Now they're like, can I have a $500 Nintendo Switch with all the accessories?
Yes, all the bells and whistles, please.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, geez, these toys are. I'm gonna have to have a job, just a side hustle, just to pay for your toys.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I don't have any kids right now, and I'm like I don't even want to bring a kid. I can't afford to have a kid right now.
See, they're getting smart. They're not popping them out right and left like we did.
I know I could probably get tax benefits, but I'm like I don't want to. I can't. In between those times, I can barely feed myself.
Most of that generation is selfish. They don't want to give up that going out. They don't want to give up their lifestyle.
You know what needs to make a comeback?
Hold on now.
The discos. We need to get the discos back so the millennials will start having babies.
Oh, no.
Although I will say the pandemic, they thought that was going to be the next big boom.
It really
It really wasn't. It didn't materialize.
No, the divorce rate went up, actually.
Oh, my gosh. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, like what genius.
And domestic violence, unfortunately. But the divorce rate went way up.
What genius thought that was going to be the trend or whatever.
Well, I mean, in everyone's defense, I mean, we're all cooped up inside with nothing to do, so
I could think of a couple of things to do.
Yeah, and exactly.
It doesn't
cool,
describe
like,
anything
for the
bad.
first month, but after you teach your kids homeschool from home, 6 months down the road, you're so exhausted. The last thing you're going to do is go have sex.
Of course, you're right. I'm not saying that happened. I don't know.
I'm just going to say it because I was like, dang. I was like,
no, thank you.
I was like, I want my kids and my wife out of the room. I just need a one moment peace.
Well, sadly, I wasn't able to enjoy those same joys that y'all did. I was a worker that was called essential, so I had to work through all of that.
I hold on, hear me out. I was considered an essential worker, and I worked at a coffee shop. So I trust me when I say like I was.
Well, coffee was very important to us people who had to be up during that time.
I didn't.
You closed your damn dining room.
I know. Oh gosh, it was like if there was ever one. Oh, I don't want to get into all that, but yeah, there's one moment where I was like, I just want to. I don't know. I just want to quit everything, but I was like,
Well, I too was essential. Unfortunately, in my line of work, I go visit people, and unfortunately, that didn't work out so well because I wasn't admitted to most places, which was probably smart. I wonder why they haven't lifted that rule for me.
Oh, I don't know.
They still don't admit me.
Maybe it's just you. Maybe they have lifted the rule. They just don't want you there.
Right. They have you.
Wow.
I don't blame them.
Oh man,
it's going to be a tough show.
Anyways, until next time. Thank you everyone for listening to this little trailer episode. Again, if you guys any of you are excited about this or think this is a really cool idea, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. We'll be on all the major platforms. We'll be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, You can also look us up. We have a link tree /Ian Wolfe, and you can look up all of our links to the ways.
And tell your friends,
of course.
If you think we're funny,
word of
or
mouth.
even if you don't think we're funny, tell your friends so they can be offended.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Please.
Exactly. We're looking to offend new people, and
Right.
so
Let's all get offended together.
And with that whole Ian Wolfe thing, I kind of feel like it needs a sound effect, like oh, every time he says it.
And his name seems to be the only one associated to all of this, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Is there contracts for this? Do we need to renegotiate?
Just because I set it all up and I didn't know when you guys wanted to have your names on the podcast, I didn't. I don't know. Anyways.
Likely story.
Right.
This is going to be fun, guys.
Anyways.
I know. We're really looking to get super famous and rich off this, so everybody listen in.
Oh, my gosh. Right. Anyways. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace.